What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome into episode number 761 of Underground Sports Philadelphia, presented by the city of Vineland. It's your boy KB coming at you solo dolo. I'm fresh off of PLL Fairfield, fresh off of watching the Phillies drop their third straight series, this time to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. I'm going to talk about that, talk about a little bit of trade discussions, and keep this episode kind of short, simple, and light. And also talk about the Philadelphia Eagles getting their rings a bit. I do want to talk about that with Harrison as well, so we might have more ring talk on Thursday's show as well, because, of course, the Eagles got their rings when I was away. But before I get into everything, make sure you guys are following us on the socials at Underground PHI across the board. It's the easiest way to keep up to date with everything we got going on here at the company. So keep following us on the socials. We're on every social platform at Underground PHI. You can follow me at KBIZZL311 on Twitter, KBIZZLE11 on Instagram and Threads. Subscribe to the pod. Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave us a 5-star review. It goes a long way for helping this show continue to grow. Plus, it helps all of our shows on the network, including the newly announced podcast featuring the man, the myth, the legend, Patty Pitts, The House Show with Pat Pitts, featuring the newly announced podcast, newly announced caller-driven show with the man, the myth, the legend, Pat Pitts, titled The House Show, which we announced on Thursday's episode, which will premiere this Friday on its very own YouTube, on its very own podcast platform. And if you are an Apple Podcast user, if you favorite the Underground Sports Philadelphia channel, you'll see The House Show in there, so you can subscribe and get ready for an all-new take on wrestling with Patty Pitts. But keep subscribing to this show as well on Apple and Spotify. And subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. That is where you get full video episodes of this show twice a week, full video episodes of every show on our network, clips, shorts, live streams, original video content. It is all on our YouTube channel. We are currently at 1,085 subscribers, which means we are so close to our next 100 subscriber milestone. And I said, once we get to 1,100 subscribers, we drop Moonshot Mania merch on our merch shop with PHI Apparel Company. So if you want Moonshot Mania merch, subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Leave a like on the video. Drop a comment in the comment section. Click that bell icon so you know whenever new videos go live. And this show is proudly presented by the City of Vineland and the City of Vineland Municipal Calendar. Features city-organized, city-sponsored, and city-affiliated events that are of public interest. The calendar, which is accessible at vinelandcity.org, is a good way for residents and visitors to build awareness, remain engaged with city government, and participate in local events. You can also follow the City of Vineland on social media via their Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube pages. And through these tools, you can stay connected to the community and get important announcements about programs and services offered by the city. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast.
I'm Mayor Anthony Finucci. If you're looking for the right location, think Vineland, New Jersey. Our pro-business approach is supported by financial incentives, workforce development programs, and other resources which can give your business a competitive edge. Whether you're starting a new business or expanding to new markets, our business environment, infrastructure, accessibility, and quality of life make Vineland an ideal location. More information about how we can help your business grow can be found at vinelandcity.org. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, The Philadelphia Phillies. Everyone's up in arms. They drop another series at the hands of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. I was there on Sunday with Deej, and just the series overall was not fun. The rare instance this season where the Philadelphia Phillies starting pitching let them down in a multitude of ways. Friday night, they hit home runs. They did what they had to do. Kyle Schwarber hits a home run in this game. Bryce Harper hits 2 home runs in this game. Jesus Luzardo, though, only goes 4 2/3, gives up 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Max Lazar gets out of the trouble there. Jordan Romano was fine. Only gave up a walk, but gets a clean inning. Tanner Banks had one of his more rough outings of the year, gave up 2 earned runs, walked a batter, got 1 strikeout, gave up a hit. Daniel Robert and Joe Ross cleaned things up. But again, like I said, the pitching let them down, and Taylor Ward hits a home run. Joe Adell hits a home run. Jorge Soler hits a home run. And when you have the middle of lineups like that doing damage to you as the Philadelphia Phillies right now, everything I've noticed recently for the Phillies is that they have a tough time. Like, Saturday is almost the exception to the rule, where they came back and they were able to win a game. They have a difficult time playing from behind. If they don't set the tone early and know that they can score runs in a game early on, they have a difficult time battling back, or at least it feels that way. I don't have the exact statistics in front of me to make or break my case, but it certainly feels like when we're watching Phillies games this year, if they fall behind in a game, it feels like it is doomsday in terms of them trying to claw back into a game. Now, they proved that theory wrong on Saturday as they won 9-5. Kyle Schwarber hits a go-ahead grand slam. Bryce Harper homers again in this game. It looks like he's rounding into form coming off of the injury. And Trey Turner was dynamic in this one. Went 1 for 3, drew 2 walks, had an RBI, scored a run. Nick Castellanos, 2 hits, his 900th career RBI and 5 at-bats. JT had a hit. Otto Kemp had a hit. Edmundo Sosa walked. Brandon Marsh walked. Johan Rojas walked, had an RBI, scored a run of his own. Noticing a trend here, everyone? When the Phillies have everyone contributing, they're a damn good baseball team. But if one part of the machine isn't working, whether it's pitching, hitting, bullpen, whatever it may be, fielding, it falls apart, and it's tough for them to rebound. Taijuan Walker did his job in 4 innings, gave up a lot of hits, but only 3 runs came across the score. Daniel Robert has been very good lately, which has been a nice sign for the Phillies. Seth Johnson, 2 strikeouts, gave up an earned run. Orion Kerkering had a rough outing. Still had 3 strikeouts, but he gave up 2 hits and an earned run in 1 inning. Tanner Banks-Strom closed things out, and the Phillies come back with a vengeance, but it's the same old song and dance. You go into Sunday's game, and I was there, and it started in a rain delay. The umpire was horrendous. I saw the ump scorecard today. His calls netted the Angels 3 runs based on his calls alone. And quite frankly, it netted them 4 runs if I had to put it lightly. Just horrendous work by the home plate umpire. Ranger Suarez caught the short end of that, ends up walking 4 guys, gives up 6 earned runs on 8 hits, only 4 strikeouts, only goes 4 1/3. Joe Ross, an inning and 2/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Seth Johnson walked 1, gave up a hit, but no runs came across. Jordan Romano, clean inning, was probably the best pitcher of the afternoon. And then Max Lazar closed things out in terms of Phillies pitching. Otto Kemp hits his first career home run at Citizens Bank Park. The Phillies just continue to leave guys on base at an alarming rate. Early on in this game, they had runners on first and second, then they go second and third, and nobody scores. and nobody scores. Trey Turner goes 1 for 4. Schwarber goes 1 for 4. Harper and Castellanos both go 0 for 4. Brandon Marsh goes 1 for 4 and scores a run. Otto Kemp 2 for 4. He was the only player with multiple hits in this game, mind you. Had that home run, like I mentioned. Max Kepler was an absolute nothing. Rafael Marchand had a hit, went 1 for 3 with an RBI. Bryson Stott, 2 walks, 0 for 1 in terms of the hit category. Now I'm going to say this. I'm gonna get out in front of this here while I'm by myself. We're in the circle of trust here at Underground right now, okay? This is where we are. I know I was a staunch Max Kepler defender, fan, loved the signing in the offseason. There's tweets where I said this is why you sign Max Kepler when he's hit home runs, when he's driven guys in. I can't defend it anymore. Okay, I haven't been able to defend it for quite some time now. Max Kepler is a massive hole in this lineup, and it's very evident. It's like kind of weird energy whenever he comes up to bat. There's no emotion. I know he's happy for Schwarber when he hit the grand slam and everything, but it's just not working with Max Kepler. He is having a rough season, to put it lightly. He's hitting .204, 10 home runs, just 31 RBI, 57 hits. And on top of that, like, just his overall number, like, his on-base percentage is below 300. His slugging percentage is below 375. His overall OPS is the worst of his career in a season where he's played a full season. And by full season, I mean more than just the 3 games he played in 2015 for the Twins. His OPS right now is a 660. His career worst was last year at 682. You can't defend it anymore. It's an evident issue. They have to get an outfield bat at the trade deadline. I'm still very much in the camp of Lourdes Gurriel Jr. I know a lot of people would like to see Taylor Ward come back. The batting average does scare me with Taylor Ward, where he's very like boom or bust, and the Phillies need guys who hit for contact and power. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. is a guy who we have brought up a number of times on this show. He's hitting .248, 12 home runs, 47 RBI, 90 hits on a Diamondbacks team that has underperformed quite a bit. I don't know. He feels like a guy that you can bring in and he be a bench bat, which would be awesome, because you're going to need that. You're going to need a guy to come off the bench once you replace Max Kepler, because you're hopefully trading for a guy that's a starter in the outfield as well. I would love Gurriel Jr. to be the Matt Stairs type, be the guy who comes off and is a spark plug off the bench, because I've said it time and time again, the Phillies have not had that guy this entire run. They have not had that guy that comes off the bench and kind of like strikes fear into people. Gurriel Jr. would be awesome. I know Taylor Ward's been mentioned. Steven Kwan would be phenomenal. He's somebody that fits the bill for what would be great for this Phillies team. He's hitting .285, 6 home runs, 32 RBI, 103 hits. He's 27 years old. Fits the core for the now and a little bit later. But this Angel series opened my eyes to a lot of the needs for this team. And I've been on the record on the show. I've said it time and time again. They need another outfield bat. And it was more so in reference to the Johan Rojas, Brandon Marsh platooning. Brandon Marsh has proven he needs to be in the lineup every day. That dude is playing extremely well. And hopefully it continues and you go get a center fielder so that Marsh can move to left and kind of fix up the defense a little bit. Not that Marsh is poor defensively. I think he's better suited for left field than he is in center field long term. And I mean, right now, Brandon Marsh has a batting average that's like comparable to what it's been with the Phillies, like not as high as it was in 2023 when he hit 277 and when he hit 288 in 41 games for the Phils, but his on-base percentage is right there. His slugging percentage needs to be a little bit higher, but I'd rather Brandon Marsh not focus on hitting home runs. Like, he's only got 3 home runs this year in 77 games. I'd rather him not worry about hitting home runs and just being a gap hitter, hitting doubles, hitting and getting on base. Like, that's what I want from Brandon Marsh, and that's where we've seen him be successful this year. He's kind of removed the need to be a power hitter and is starting to just hit the ball and use his speed on the base pass too, and that's very helpful for this team. But the Phillies certainly need help, and they got help this week. As the game ended, I'm driving home from Citizens Bank Park, and the Phillies signed our old friend, Volume 3, D-Rob. David Robertson is back with the Philadelphia Phillies on a 1-year deal. He signed a 1-year deal, option to AAA Lehigh Valley on Monday. He agreed to that so that he can ramp up. He hasn't been in baseball this year. The deal is prorated, $16 million for the remainder of the season, which will be about $5 to $6 million. Because the Phillies are over the 4th luxury tax threshold, they also will pay a 110% tax on Robertson's prorated salary. That money, and I know a lot of people have been up in arms about the David Robertson signing because he's 40 years old, hasn't been in baseball. Here's the thing. David Robertson was pretty good last year. And I know a lot of people were not watching Texas Rangers baseball last year, but David Robertson was pretty good last year for the Texas Rangers. He had a 3.00 ERA in 68 games. He finished with 2 saves, pitched 72 innings, which was the most he's pitched in quite some time. The most innings he's ever pitched in his career, actually. In his major league career, it's the most he's ever pitched. So, on top of that, he's a guy that knows this team. He pitched very well last year. He's a fresh arm. And I can almost guarantee David Robertson at 40 years old is not going to be the only bullpen move this team makes. And guess what? You didn't have to give up anything to get him. You just signed him. And on top of that, once early August rolls around, the Phillies will get Jose Alvarado back for the stretch run. I know he won't be available for the postseason, so don't come clamoring in the comments. I already know that. But you'll have somebody in August and September that you can just use for the remainder of the regular season, and that's another acquisition for you at this point in the season. On top of that, David Robertson is better than like 75% of the guys the Phillies have been throwing out of the bullpen this year. He's better than Romano. He's better than Joe Ross. He's better than a lot of the guys that the Phillies have been trotting out of the bullpen this year in a multitude of ways. And guess what? Last time he was on the roster, Phillies went to the World Series. Okay? Sometimes you got to use boy math to figure that out. I like the David Robertson signing. I think it's a smart move. It is a reallocation of funds because the money they're using is being allocated to David Robertson via the money that Jose Alvarado forfeited for being suspended. So it's not like you're spending additional money. It's money that you had because, unfortunately, Jose Alvarado got suspended. I like this signing. I think he's going to be a welcomed addition to this bullpen. And I get he's 40 years old. But guess what? He's pitched very well over the past couple of years. You know, early on with the Mets in 2023, 2.05 ERA. He got traded to Miami, and Miami stinks, so kind of fell apart there. 3.00 ERA with Texas. He was very good with the Phillies when he was here in 2022. He was very good with the Cubs when he was there in 2022. So overall, like, this is a good signing for the Fightins. And if you're upset about signing him because he's 40, because it's $5 million, one, when did it become your money? Two, it's through the end of the season. It's not like he signed a 10-year deal and he's going to be here until he's 50. It's a 1-year remainder of the season deal. It's not that serious. I like it. It's smart. It's crafty. I think David Robertson's going to be, I'm not saying he's going to be like, prime Randy Johnson out of the bullpen or something. He's not going to be Mariano Rivera. But if you can put David Robertson in the 7th inning, in the 8th inning, that rocks. That's good. That helps lengthen the bullpen with Strahm and Orion Kerkering. And then obviously when you have somebody like Jose Alvarado coming back in August and September, bullpen gets pretty deep there. And then you don't have to throw guys like Daniel Robert, like Michael Mercado, like the list of names we've seen come out of this bullpen this year. It lengthens that out. And you can still go make a move and trade for a bullpen arm or two. You can still go make a move and trade for an outfielder or two. Like, everything is still on the table for this team, even after signing David Robertson. And I think John Middleton recognizes this team has to make moves. I think Dave Dombrowski recognizes he can't really sit on his laurels and do a lot of the, kind of around the edges type of moves. It's got to be something that's, in the middle of the pot this year. Because this is a year that I don't think the Phillies can afford to kind of just trust the guys in the building to get it done. They need reinforcement. Where they get it from remains to be seen. David Robertson is a perfect initial step of the plan, though. So welcome back, D-Rob. Welcome back. One of the few Phillies to ever play for the team in 3 separate stints. But yeah, the Phils have a series coming up against the Red Sox at home Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And we'll see. Jarren Duran has been thrown around as a possibility for the Phillies. I don't necessarily like the move. I don't think Jarren Duran is someone who fits this team all that well. He doesn't move the needle for me. He's hitting .257, 8 home runs, 50 RBI. He's another left-handed bat. I don't know. He just doesn't feel like the type of bat that Dombrowski would want to go after at this deadline. I think there's better options like a Steven Kwan. Who's the outfielder from the Twins? Not Byron Buxton, by the way, because he's not getting traded. And not that I wanted Byron Buxton on the team because I just didn't agree with the contract and everything. I saw Trevor Plouffe and the Talking Baseball guys throw around Harrison Bader this year potentially for the Phillies. That's an interesting move. That could be pretty fascinating. Harrison's hitting .253 with 12 home runs, 36 RBI. If you can package Duran or Griffin Jacks with Harrison Bader, I'm interested. That's something. And Harrison Bader's a right-handed bat that plays well with Marsh in center field. And then who knows? Justin Crawford's obviously, in the organization right now, but you're waiting to see if you have to trade him. And I think if you don't trade him, he should be up with this team regardless, and Kepler's got to go. You trade for an outfielder like a Harrison Bader, like a Duran, like a Steven Kwan, Crawford should still be up on this team, in my opinion. And then you cut ties with Max Kepler to make that happen. But a series against the Red Sox, who have been pretty hot. They took 2 out of 3 from the Cubs. They are they're packing a playoff spot right now, and they're 54-47. They're not too far off what the Phillies record is at 56-43. Luckily, you're at home. Weird series loss at home again for the Phils, but they're 31-18 at home this year. So take advantage of being at home, because guess what? It does not get easier for the Phillies after this series. You go to New York for the weekend to play the Yankees. You go to Chicago to play the White Sox. I know it's the White Sox, but you're on the road. You got to deal with the road. Come back home to play the Tigers, who are the best team in baseball. And then the Orioles come to town. Then you go to Texas to play the Rangers. 7 straight series against American League teams out of the All-Star break is crazy. I don't know if that's ever happened before for a National League team to play 7 straight interleague series coming out of the All-Star break. They don't play another National League series until August 11th, 12th, 13th against the Cincinnati Reds in Cincinnati. And that's a long road trip for the Phils, too. They're on the road from August 8th through August 17th. That's a long road trip. 9 games. Rangers for 3, Reds for 3, Nationals for 4. 10 games. 10-game road trip in the middle of August before you come home to play the Mariners, play the Nationals, and then go up to Citi Field to play the Mets, come back home to play the Braves to close out August. And then, crazily enough, we'll be in September, which is gross because I don't want my summer to fly by. But nonetheless, got to give a tip of the cap here on this show, because that's what we do. A tip of the cap to the city of Philadelphia and the Philadelphia Phillies, because the All-Star game is coming to Philadelphia, baby. And the tip of the cap is brought to you by our friends at 47. We love 47 here at Underground Sports Philadelphia. It is my go-to hat brand of choice. You guys see me rocking, if you're watching on YouTube, the traditional Phillies with the rope addition to it. Nice little red Phillies hat with the white rope on it. I love 47. And I love, I picked this up on Sunday, the All-Star Game, 2026 All-Star Game 47 hitch style hat is just beautiful. I had to get it. This is the first All-Star Game that I will be cognizantly able to remember for the rest of my life. I was not even an iota of a thought in 1952. I was not a thought in 1976. And I was 2.5 years old in 1996. So this is the first time I'm going to be able to bask in the glory of an All-Star Game being in Philadelphia for the very first time, which is so sick. I'm very excited. And 47 is going to pop off with the All-Star merchandise. If this is just the initial hat, I can't wait to see the rest. 47's the best. They are truly dropping new apparel and merchandise, and of course those beautiful, beautiful hats. Every single week there's a new drop. The ice cream helmet collection just dropped, and guys, let me tell you, it's one of my favorite drops. They've got the t-shirts and the hats for the ice cream helmet collection. The overhand 47 hitch is back with NFL training camps being right around the corner. The khaki burr is a beauty, plus so many more. Guys, you don't want to miss it. Use our link in the description. Shop with our friends at 47 and get free shipping on all orders when you join the 47 family. Create an account, sign up. It's easy. It's free to do it. So join the 47 family. Use our link in the description to shop with 47 and get free shipping on all orders when you join the 47 family. And we thank 47 for being a proud partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. I just noticed that 2 of the hats in my cart are now on sale, which might mean I might have to pull the trigger on those. What does it mean for me if I do this in terms of... Oh, baby. We might have to do that. that might be getting done after this podcast, ladies and gentlemen. But nonetheless, the Phils, they'll figure it out, okay? They're going to be a playoff team. They just got to get in the dance, see where they're dancing at. And I'm not overly concerned. I trust Dave Dombrowski. I know a lot of people are skeptical with Dave Dombrowski simply because he hasn't pulled off a big heist of a move for the Phillies in his tenure here. The only players who have been on the big league roster for multiple years, Kyle Gibson, shout out to Gibby, who just announced his retirement. We'll always have Cy Gibson in April of 2022. And Brandon Marsh. Those are the only guys that have lasted beyond the trade deadline and beyond the following season. You know, Estevez walked last year. Michael Lorenzen walked. You had Noah Syndergaard left. Ian Kennedy left. A whole bunch of guys ended up walking and leaving after they were here. You have to do something that is seismic enough that not only is it going to help this team now, but those guys have to stick around and be part of this team moving forward as well. Like, the rentals are rough because the Phillies seem to not want to retain guys that are rentals for the most part. So you have to get a seismic shift of a player. And I think my current list right now of guys that I am willing to really go all in on is Johan Duran from the Minnesota Twins, Griffin Jax from the Minnesota Twins. I would like to get Lourdes Gurriel Jr. I'm not saying he's like a guy you have to go all in on, but he's a guy I would like to get for this team. Stephen Kwan, Dennis Santana from the Pittsburgh Pirates, David Bednar from the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm kind of in on Taylor Ward. You know, seeing the power in person this weekend, I'm kind of in on him. But I don't know. It's tough. I'm kind of in on Kyle Finnegan as a cheap bullpen option. He should not cost you an arm and a leg, and he can be an 8th inning guy. He can be a 7th inning guy, and that can be an easy, guy to couple with a Dennis Santana, with a Johan Duran, with a Griffin Jax, and be like, oh, cool, that's like solid moves. The list is certainly compiling quite a bit, and there's going to be more moves that get made over the next few days, as we are 10 days away from the trade deadline by the time you guys are listening to this, so definitely something to keep your eyes and ears peeled on as it approaches, but we are going to be all in on this trade deadline. We are going to be like at the desk, pumping graphics out, news alerts, everything you don't want to miss. We might even be live for the MLB trade deadline on the 31st. So very much looking forward to it, and I will be at the first Phillies game post-trade deadline because I will be at Jimmy Rollins Wall of Fame night. I'm very excited about that. I think it's going to be one of my favorite nights ever because Jimmy Rollins is genuinely my favorite player ever. Yeah, the Phillies are on the road Wednesday, July 30th, trade deadline. They're off. And then Friday is that first game after the trade deadline. So I'll be in the building for that. We might see a brand new player wearing City Connect uniforms on Jimmy Rollins' retirement Wall of Fame night, not retirement night, pardon me, which would be crazy. So we'll see how it all shakes out. But it was a tough series loss against the Yankees. You can't lose series like that, especially now when you're gearing up for the Red Sox, the Yankees, and the Tigers in 3 of your next 4 series. You got to be dialed. You got to win the series against the inferior teams so that when you go toe-to-toe with the big dogs, you feel that much better about going into those series. And you know what makes you feel good, guys? Our awesome merch partners at PHI Apparel Company. Guys, if you want to stand out in the crowd, whether you're going to Citizens Bank Park, hanging out with your friends and your family, nice little summer barbecue, just kicking it at home, going to the bar, whatever it may be, the best place to rep your favorite sports team and your favorite Philadelphia sports podcast is with PHI Apparel Company with their unique designs for all. There is no doubt in our minds you will stand out in the crowd. You guys can go to phiapparel.co, use code UNDERGROUND at checkout, and you'll get 10% off your next merch order. Again, that's code UNDERGROUND at phiapparel.co. You get 10% off your next merch order from our awesome merch partners at PHI Apparel Company. And you'll stand out in the crowd with the official merch partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. The Philadelphia Eagles got their rings, and we will do a lot more ring talk on Thursday's show, as I am getting bombarded with text messages as I record this on a Monday because I was away for so long. But nonetheless, the Eagles got their rings, and it juiced me up, like, seeing the guys back together, even the guys that aren't on the team anymore. Like, those rings are insane. Like, the coolest ring I have ever seen. The button that makes the wings pop out, that has Sirianni's quote engraved on the top of the wings. The subtle details, the Brazilian flag. The size of the ring is massive. I just love the 2024 Eagles, man. That is a team that I will hold near and dear to my heart because I defended them game in and game out, day in and day out. I remember being at a family birthday party in September, and I said, I genuinely think the Eagles can win the Super Bowl. And I can't wait to be back at that family birthday party later this year, and hopefully the person I was talking with is there and be like, hey, you remember when I said the Birds could win it all? Feels so good. Feels so good to be right, you know? But it was super cool. And seeing Brandon Graham and Rick Lovato and Lane Johnson and Jake Elliott both being the two-time Super Bowl champions with their rings, both rings. Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman. Vindicating to see Jalen Hurts with his ring. Nick Sirianni with his ring. As a staunch Nick Sirianni defender, as a staunch Jalen Hurts defender. It feels good. The Cooper DeJean and Reed Blankenship reaction to them getting their rings might be the most pure, just incredible reaction to anything I've ever seen from an adult. Those two looked like kids on Christmas opening those ring boxes. And I can't stop watching the video. It is just so amazing, and the pure elation and joy on their faces just encapsulates everything that this Eagles team went through to get to the mountaintop, and to see the excitement on their faces reacting to the fruits of their labor and the hard work and dedication and time and effort they put in to allow themselves to get that ring and to be able to wear that ring is beyond awesome. And I will just love this team forever. They are forever champs. Nothing can ever take that away from us as Eagles fans. Nothing can ever take that away from the players, the coaches, the staff, the trainers, Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie, everyone in the front office. Forever champs, man. And it's sealed with that ring. That ring is the pinnacle. Your favorite team could never. Gosh. Go Birds. And there's no better way to celebrate a championship, a moral victory, or just kicking it better in this beautiful summertime than cracking open an ice-cold Kenwood Beer. It's the official beer partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's a refreshing light beer, just 4.1% ABV, 120 calories, just 8 grams of carbs. You guys can go to kenwoodbeer.com, use the Kenny Finder to see who's got Kenwood Beer on tap in the Philadelphia, New Jersey, Delaware, Pittsburgh, and Maryland areas. You can also find Kenwood Beer at your local liquor stores in those markets. Again, that's kenwoodbeer.com. Must be 21 or older to do so. And as always, guys, please drink responsibly. That is all I've got for you guys on this one. Make sure you're following us on the socials at UndergroundPHI. Follow me at KBIZZL311, KBIZZLE11 on Instagram and Threads. Subscribe to the pod, subscribe to the pod, subscribe to the pod, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave us a 5-star review. It goes a long way for helping this show continue to grow, helps more people find Underground Sports Philadelphia and our entire network of podcasts. And subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. That is where you get full video episodes of this show twice a week, every single week. Full video episodes of every show on our network, clips, shorts, live streams, original video content. It's all on our YouTube channel. Get us to 1,100, guys. I'm tired of seeing 1-0. I want to see 1-1. I want to see 1-2. I want to see 2-0. I want to get those subscribers pumping, okay? Keep subscribing, youtube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. And this show, guys, is proudly presented by the city of Vineland. And whether you are a company looking to expand, relocate, or you're a new business startup, selecting the right location is critical to your success. Vineland, New Jersey offers both an affordable business location and an excellent quality of life. The city's economic development department is a one-stop source for moving your project through the development and approval process, and their goal is to make this process as smooth as possible and to provide the fastest turnaround times in the region. If you're considering potential locations for your operation, contact the Vineland Economic Development Team at 856-794-4100. That's 856-794-4100. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast. This has been episode number 761. What are you going to do for me now, Phillies? And the Birds got their rings edition of Underground Sports Philadelphia. I'm your boy KB. Myself, HK, and intern Jacob will have you on Thursday. Jacob's got a fun game coming for us. I'm excited to see how it all shakes out. Plus, we'll keep up to date with anything going on at the trade deadline. Hopefully, the Water Dogs bounce back for all of our Philadelphia Water Dogs fans out there. The Union looking to get back on track after an unfortunate draw to Houston. And the Eagles training camp will be underway. Plus, a whole lot more. But until then, I'm getting the heck up out of here, and I'm signing off. Peace.